Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a luxury shoot of this 2,000 square foot home in North Scottsdale, Arizona. We already shot daytime luxury. Now we're going to do some later Twilight style. First things first, we're going to go through and get the property ready. But what I'm going to pay attention to is the time right now at 6:14. Sunset is at 6:15, so it's right at sunset. And I know I'm going to need to be done on the inside by 6:30, 6:35. I usually like to come back outside 15 to 20 minutes after sunset, so I'll make sure to set my alarm right now and then go through the home and just make sure that it's set up. You want to set it up earlier than this, clearly, but this home's not very big and we already shot it, so we likely aren't going to have to make too many adjustments or move too fast because it is only 2,000 square feet. But you will have to know how big the home is, how many key shots you plan on taking at Twilight, so that you can move pretty fast. Anyways, all right, let's go inside. Let me open the clock app. Alarm. Let's do 6:30. All right. All right, so one thing walking in that I noticed was the sconces didn't turn on, and I believe we looked at, hold on. I believe that the sconces that are on the lighting on the front by the garage and this entryway are on a timer or a sensor, so hopefully they turn on by the time it's time to shoot the exterior shots. But right now what I'm going to be doing is analyzing the lighting. Now this one is a little bit of a challenge because we have multiple colored lights in this home. It's a lot better if homeowners or agents make sure that there's consistent lighting throughout. But if you look right here, we got about tungsten color. We have daytime right here. We're back to tungsten over here. We have tungsten back there, daytime over here. And the biggest thing, I really don't like it when they mix it, but you can't really control it. You just have to deal with it. Sometimes I'll leave lights off intentionally because it just conflicts and it looks really bad in camera. So just be aware of that. And then what I'm also looking for right here, you can see these lamps right here are daytime colored bulbs, and that is tungsten. So we'll kind of analyze as we go through the home. But what I'm looking at right now is that there aren't too many can lights in this particular home, so we're going to have to use exterior flash now for the interior shots, at least in the main rooms. Now the bathroom's pretty bright. It has a lot of lighting. Likely won't need to use our flash there or in this bathroom. So just do a quick lighting analysis. You're going to want to use lighting in this room. Lighting in this room, you can see it's already very dark right here. And then in the kitchen, there's can lights, but it is kind of dark over here by the Eden area. So depending on how it looks, we may or may not use lighting. It just depends. If you can get away with not using lighting, I think it's better. Less reflections and less issues dealing with, but all right. So the timer's going. I got my camera over here. And one thing that's going to be hard to deal with, or not deal with, is determine what color bulb we want to use. Or sorry, what color CTO gel we want to use. So if I don't have any CTO gel, it's fluorescent. Quarter CTO gel, it's more of a daytime color. And then this is a full CTO gel for my flash for tungsten. And in this house, we have a mixed bag of lighting, so I might have to swap this on and off. What I'm gonna do is start with the daytime color just to see how it looks. I think this may work for the majority of the inside of the home, but we'll see how the lighting goes and see if we need to swap this. So I'm just gonna leave this on the front porch so it's out of the way, and I'll swap it if I need to. Turn the flash on here, and we'll get to work. Now, right here, we've already shot several we've already shot the daytime luxuries of this particular property, so I'm just going to go straight for my favorite shots that I shot earlier. That's why I always recommend shooting earlier before you actually get to the twilight or sunset, so that you know exactly what angles you want to shoot. All right, so let's go here. Actually, let me turn this on here, recording. Let's get that out of the way so I can see. All right, I'm at a 1 second exposure. It's pretty dark in here, so we might have to make some adjustments to aperture, ISO, depending on what we're looking at. So I'm gonna go to 2 second timer. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is that sun just set, and if I'm pointing that way, that's where the sun is setting. So I'm looking in my camera, and out that window, it's kind of a little bit blown out towards the top. So I'm gonna take this shot later. What we can take are the shots that are away from the sun first. So like a shot in here will likely have better windows sooner. So it's pretty, it looks all right. The best thing to do is to start with the rooms that don't have any windows really. Like the kitchen doesn't have much of it, but I think this looks all right. If it's not, if they're not dark enough, and in this room we can control the lighting pretty well with the flash. So what we can do is just drop it a little bit and just see how it turns out. So this is going to be a test here. Let's go 1/4, quarter, 2 second timer. Just look, ooh, that might be bright. It just feels like it's going to be bright. All right, that actually looks really good. It is kind of early. I mean, I like the result, but I know that the sky is very bright. It's still very bright right now. So I do like the shot. I think the daytime gel works well right now. So this is definitely a usable shot. Yeah, all right, let me go over here to this corner. I don't know if this would be good or not. Actually, it does. I'm looking at the window from this perspective. We can't really see anything bright. You want to focus on those darker windows first. All right, so let's make this a little bit brighter. And when I shot it earlier, that middle room was definitely darker. Let me power it down. It was pretty brighter on that previous shot. Let's see what we got. All right, that looks great. That middle room does not look great, so what I'm going to do is change the timer to 5 seconds and change it to manual focus so the focus doesn't move, and then I'm going to flash in here. Now I just walked in a few feet from the side of the wall, so you couldn't see a bright light. But in that room, now you can see a tungsten gel would have looked better in that room. You can see how blue it looks. You know what I'm going to do, since I don't think we have time to mess around with that, I'm just going to take a brighter exposure exposing for that room. And actually, we can probably do a little exposure brush during the editing process. I'm just going to take an ambient shot right here. Make sure that the flash is off. That's going to be a better bet than to use that blue looking shot. All right, let's move on. All right. Now let's see how the kitchen looks. The lighting actually looks pretty good over there, even without the can lights. It's going to be usable. The only thing is right here that it's dark right here. I don't like how dark it is. So having this is going to be pretty good here. So I'm going to do a bounce flash back here. There's no reflections I'm dealing with, but it should just kind of fill in some light up. Yeah, you can see it did fill in some light. but we're looking at a reflection. Let me try something else. I mean, I can just power it down and do a forward-facing flash on that. Just a very slight 1/16. Let's see. I don't know how this is going to look. My problem with the reflection, bouncing it, is that I could see the shadow of this camera. So, all right, right there. But now we're seeing some shadows. Let me try it again. I'm just going to come in closer to the camera to hopefully reduce that. All right, so we have that one. That's pretty good. But we'll probably have to adjust it a little bit. You know what? I'm just going to take one more closer to this. Ugh, that just felt way too bright. Yeah, unnatural. Let's drop it down. 1/128. All right, that was a little bit better, I think. All right, just a little bit more subtle. And this battery is running out real quick, so let me go swap it real quick. All right, so we're going to move on from that. You know, we probably spent a little bit too much time on that shot. We're going to have to move a little bit faster now. I know, I just kind of keep a mental note on timing. And I know what I can do in the editing process to make some shots look better. So I'm just going to this on? Yep. Just add a little bit of light there. No. I have the ambient shot, and it just might be a better shot. Since I'm at 100 ISO, I should be able to raise that up and paint a little bit of light in there. All right, let's move on. All right, so here's another shot. This one actually doesn't need any flash at all. There's a lot of great lighting in this room. So let me just set the focus. And actually I can see the line on the ceiling. It's a little bit not straight. So I'm just going to reshoot it real quick. All right, now I'm going to do this. Now this area actually looks excellent right now. Turn it back to focus. Now I got 2 seconds to get out of the shot. All right, that looks great. Let's move over here to the laundry room, which doesn't need lighting either. Lighting looks great right now. I like the blue. The blue, I want to go a little bit higher, but I know I need to move a little bit. So, and I have a half-second exposure. It's got to fit. Yeah, it's going to bother me. Let's just raise it up slightly. All right, that's a little better to me. I'm just trying to focus in. All right. Hold on, let me focus it. All right, that looks good. I'm only worried about the money shots during this time. I already have plenty of the regular shots. Like, I'm really focused on what, like the best of the best shots. All right, so I need to get outside in about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to try to position to where we're hiding a little bit. And I'll be able to do some exposure painting where it's a little bit darker back there. And for here, I'm just gonna duck down and just keep track of my flash. All right, my flash is over here. All right, so that's good. In the kitchen, let's see if the lighting adjusts here. Man, this room is way darker. We're at a 2.5 second exposure time here. Let's turn this on. This is almost like outside. You could flash multiple times to try to get rid of some shadows, but we'll see how it looks. That actually looks good. Pretty happy with that. All right, so that was the best shot there. Now I want to come back to this shot because earlier it was a little bit too darks, or too bright still, sorry. I was able to get to, yeah, that looks good. All right, let's move on. I got this one earlier, I wanted to get it again. Let's see how that looked. That was probably a little bright in here at this time of day. No, that actually looks good. Let me just double check, make sure that it was in focus. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and grab one more just in case. All right, let's move on. Let me see if I want to get one here. And I'll grab one right here. You can see how the windows out back are starting to look nice. Get some of that fire in this shot. You got that room. I think I might have put a hot spot on the ceiling. I always try to avoid that. But I didn't actually, it looks good to me. Let's move on. All right, master. I know earlier we have good shots of everything if we need it. But I'm just going for the best of the best right now. Let me see. All right, that was a little bit bright. Actually doesn't look too bad though. Let me bring it down a little bit. 1/16. Shutter speed still isn't too bad. It's at 1.3 seconds. Actually, you might have liked the previous one a little bit better. Let's try it. One more. We'll have options. All right. Now let's get this corner shot. Now remember this one, like it reflected a lot off of the bed. So let's go down 1/16. See how we're looking, go up higher. So it doesn't rain down too much on the bed, hopefully. All right, that looks good, let's move. Actually, I'm gonna get this angle too. I like the windows hopefully look blue-ish. It's kind of dark in their backyard, but yeah, it looks pretty good right there. Let's go a little bit wider, maybe a little bit lower. You can see the multiple lighting situation we're dealing with right now. I think you're in that reflection. Actually, not bad. All right, that's better. You can see how blue it looks lower down from these lights, but not too distracting. You know, I've dealt with way worse than what we're dealing with. That looks pretty good. All right, let's move into the bathroom. Let's see what we can get here. And for here, I like the lighting as is. I want to get a shot right here. What I'm not liking in this shot is the closet. The closet looks bad, and then these rugs are kind of, not that straight. Let's close this. All right. All right, that looks better to me. Let's get out of the shot. All right, let's keep moving. Here in the middle to where I don't see a reflection. Now I could get let me see the reflection. If the reflection isn't bad, you could get a shot through the glass, which actually, this isn't a bad shot. Now I see Ray. Hold on, keep moving, Ray. No, move. There you go. All right, so I'm not gonna go in there. Let's go low here. That looks good. Let's go low here. Yeah, I like those blue windows. Just trying to maximize our lighting since I had to go and swap that battery. I'm a little lower than I want, but I'm trying to hide my camera rig. Now, yeah, the closet is not I'm fine with the shot I got earlier in the closet. Plus there's no windows, the lighting didn't change. Now this room is really not much of a focus. This is just a third. I think the shot I got earlier is fine. Yeah, I didn't like this shot. Let me just get one angle in this corner. And I think that'll be it. This is probably not even necessary because I think I like the shot I got earlier. Plus, this isn't that important of a room. But since I'm over here, about to take this shot anyway, go ahead and do it. You can see my flash trigger was not on, but actually I did not try. It was too fast of a trigger. I thought I got it, but I didn't. All right, that looks good. Ooh, hold on a second, that shadow. We want to go higher with the flash, where it's bouncing and not lower. There we go, we got rid of the shadow. All right, and this room clearly does not need flash. Super bright as is. The multiple lighting, it's so bright, it really isn't too bad, honestly. Sometimes you'll run into homes where it looks literally blue and orange in the same room. Those are more tricky to edit. But this one looks good. You can bring it up a little bit. You can see that window starting to get kind of dark. All right. So I'm pretty happy with the shots that I got. I feel like I got the best shots at the best time. A little bit rushed, but what are we at? Yeah, 6:39, so what is that, 6:15? Yeah, 25 minutes. So we're a little bit late on getting outside. So what we're gonna do is shoot away from the sun first. Since the sun's set over there, we're gonna shoot the front facing that way, and then we're gonna do the backyard facing this way. Now, let's see if the sconces ever turned on. Doesn't look like they did, which is a bummer. Sometimes they just don't work and the homeowner's not here to turn them on. For sure, I'm gonna switch now to a tungsten gel. For the exteriors. The interiors, you have to kind of use good judgment. So I'm getting out a little bit late. Not ideal, but this is a smaller house. It's manageable. You just kind of, and depending on the time of year, you'll have more or less time. But yeah, it's starting to get dark that way. But the sconces are good over here. It was just the porch over here. So let me just put my battery, my gel over here, and rock and roll. All right, so I'm gonna bring up, since this house is kind of on a hill, I'm gonna extend my tripod all the way. And this is where we'll have to manage our shutter speed if we need to, if it's too long. You can see right now we're at a 13, if I didn't do any adjustments, 13 seconds. So if it's windy or there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the shutter speed that high. So okay, this looks all right. Let's go 0. But actually, it is still bright out here. You can see tonight, sometimes you can fake it. You see how I'm at a negative 1.3 now? I'm looking for that bluish sky. So we're at and I'm also looking for about a 3.5 second or 3.2. Okay, that'll give us enough time to flash multiple times during an exposure. And I'm gonna do at a half power. That'll recycle relatively quick. All right, let's go and see what we got. So I'm gonna stand by the camera and the trigger's not on. But I can still, even if the trigger doesn't go off, I can still hit the test button and still flash. I got one flash off, it's not gonna look very good. But you can see how yellow it looks. So I just kind of blanket across. You know, the CTO gel color. Okay, actually, that looks good to me. You can see we got a nice color. I was kind of skeptical with the one, but this looks all right. All right, let's go to the left. I like that color of the sky as well. It's a good blue. I probably will bring up my flash a little bit. I probably could use a little bit. And now on this one, I'm trying to bring in that tree in the distance as well. I'm at negative 1 point. Let's leave it at 1.7. I'm at a 5 second exposure time. All right, let's leave it at -2. Let's go. All right, full power, we can probably get just 2, but we'll see what we can do. There's 2 right there. Actually, I could have gotten 3 at full power. It recycled. Let's see what it looks like. That looks all right. I do feel like I hit too much on the sidewalk. You can adjust that in post-production or during the editing process, but I'm gonna try to aim my flash up higher just to kind of reduce that. I knew that one was okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the other side. And usually, at least with Sony cameras, to the extent that your shutter is how long it takes to process the photo. So I usually don't like sitting around waiting for it to populate. But that actually is good. I'll be able to bring up detail in the shadows. And that's a nice looking sky. Honestly, I really am pretty happy with that shot. Man, this 12 to 24. For exteriors, I probably prefer the 16 to 35, even though this 12 to 24 is nice for interiors on certain shots. All right, I'm at a 5 second. I think timing's good. I'm not getting too many shots. Paying attention because I'm keeping my flash up so I don't like burn or have a bunch of bright sidewalk or driveways. I probably could have brought it down a little bit. Could use a little bit more of a fill light, honestly. So, you know what? Let's do a little bit different strategy. 1/4, it's gonna recycle really fast, and I'm just gonna, I got 5 seconds to do it in. So we just kind of fill in the whole shot with flash and just see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. Honestly, it looks a little bit too lit in my opinion, but we can reduce that with some exposure painting during the editing process. But hitting multiple flashes throughout will help to eliminate a bunch of shadows that you could get by just bursting once. All right, so that's 3 for the front. I could come back out here and get a second round this looks kind of nice here. We got the nice 3 little windows up there. Now that we're really close to the house, I don't know how this is gonna look. Like this is kind of a roll the dice kind of shot. We got 2 seconds. I'm probably way over flash. I'm not gonna overdo it. I just wanna see where I'm sitting right now with the 1 flash. And actually it wasn't bad. My flash is back here. You can see the shadow of the camera. So we need to keep it over here in front of the camera. And it looked pretty dark from what I was shooting. This actually doesn't look bad. What I do need to do is stay away from this wall a little bit more, and I think we'll be good on this shot. This shot actually looks pretty good. So I'm gonna come over here, stay in front of the camera, and not shoot the wall. Let's see. All right, so the wall, yeah, that looks pretty good. I do wish I could hit that up there a little bit. Let me see if I did in the previous shot. No, it's always kind of dark. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna try one more. This exposure is a little bit better, less shadows. So if I come over here and point my flash just to eliminate the shadows in there, hopefully it didn't blow up this wall again. All right, I think that's a little bit better than the other one. Maybe not. Maybe the other one looks better. Who knows? My camera seems to be frozen right now. Let's take a look. But I know my camera setting's at -2, so I still have a lot of lighting left. Let's go. I was thinking about going through the side gate, but I guess we'll just go through the house. I'm not sure if the side gate's unlocked or not. We'll go to the back and then shoot. And then we can shoot again out front just to get a different lighting scenario at more of a 0 than a -2, because we were kind of faking it darker than it actually was. All right. Since I have my tripod legs up, well, no, I guess we want to shoot away from the sun first, so we'll get these first. I'm gonna bring my legs back. I was gonna say, since we already had our legs extended, getting those far back shots back at the house might be better first, but let's see where we're at right now. I don't know if this, I think I'm gonna like it better over here. All right, so now 100 ISO, -2, we're at a 20-second exposure, which is not going to work. So I'm gonna bring it down. I usually stop at about 4 on the aperture. We're at 8 seconds. And now we'll hit ISO and we'll bring it up. We'll say 200. That drops us back to around where we wanna be, say 4 seconds. But know that as you adjusted that, now your flash is gonna have more power to it, or at least in the image. So I'm gonna drop it down to 1/16. And we'll see what this looks like. I guess, did I have this turned off? Regardless, it didn't flash. But it doesn't matter. Once you know that it shutters, then you can just keep rocking. All right, so let's see what we came up with. Ooh, that looks really yellow. But if it's consistently yellow like that, we should be able to adjust the temperature to make it look nice during the editing process, or reduce the yellows. Man, any brighter and it's... All right, let's just go to 320 right now. 4 seconds and negative. It's really dark back here. I want to get one more shot of that. And I can see my trigger either is not on or not working, but I can just hit the test button. All right, let's see what that looks like. That's really, really bright. Let's go 1/62. But I do like how the sky looks. I like the overall shot. That's much less light. Let's see what it looks like. I'm over this shot already. I mean, it's not the best shot in the world. I'm just kind of messing around, showing some different lighting. It looks, you know, really like I could have used a different CTO gel rating, but okay, let's move on. We can obviously adjust the colors in the editing process. I just try to not have to do it. I mean, you know, try to minimize it as much as possible is kind of the goal. All right, now for this backyard shot, what I'm looking at is trying to get a good exposure on the inside. This is one where you can bring it up to 0, but then the interior looks all blown out. Right now, the lighting's good. That's where the sun is setting. You can see the sky. The sky looks good over there. I got a nice look on the inside of the home at a -2. I feel like that's pretty good. But now, look at the shutter speed, 1/5. So now we could bring the ISO back down. Let's go to 100, what do we got? And then we could also bring our aperture back up. What do we say we want to be around? 2 seconds is fine. Now we want to bring our flash power back up. Let's go 1/4. And I'm actually looking for, like when I flash, it's gonna brighten up all this tree. So we'll see how bad that looks in the shot. Let's do a test shot. I don't know what's going on with my trigger, but you don't necessarily need it for exteriors with long exposures. Now, that actually looks pretty good. It actually looks good. Look, like the interior looks quite good. Just all the way on the right side of the property, it's kind of dark, so I'm just gonna make sure to hit it. I only have 2 seconds. So what I'll probably want to do is, I don't think I hit it that time either. It's still really dark. We want to get our, so let's bring our aperture up. 3.2, f9, 3.2. Let's go. I like it at least 3 seconds for something like this. And I feel like I'm gonna step on a cactus or something. What is that? I feel like I tripped on something. That wasn't ideal. I think a little bit better. You can see all the flash reflections in the window. You see that from me moving around, so you got to pay attention to that as well. Honestly, I like this shot. We can do a little exposure brush on the right side of the home, and it'll be good to go. So let's move on from this shot. Because I do want to leave time to go back out front and get another round of shots before it's too dark behind us. So I did like this corner shot earlier. Let's zoom out. Now I'm pretty dang dark now. You can see this. Now I'm gonna go back. We'll see. It's really hard to tell what the heck I'm looking at right now. It's so dark, but let's try it. I don't know why this trigger's not working. Whoa, now you can see really bright at a f4. I was only at 1/4 power, so let's power it down. 1/32. Try again. More subtle light. I think this will be a better result. Maybe not bright enough, but we'll see. Definitely not bright enough. All right, let's go 1/8. Yeah, I couldn't even see that tree. And you can see it starts to struggle a little bit. That's pretty good. This is usable, right? I'm just looking for no blowouts. I got some detail over here. That looks pretty good. The sky looks nice. I'll be able to make the adjustments I need. Maybe I just take one more shot. But it did focus correctly. I noticed it was struggling, so I'm gonna put it on manual focus. I'm just gonna take one more shot just because I'm going to. Party back here. All right. All right, so there really isn't a good center shot back here. I got the corner. Let me just take a look real quick before I go back out front because I don't plan on coming back over here. We got that going out. I feel like we need one more angle of the backyard. I think that was the corner. That was the best shot there. Corner shot. We got all this cactus in the middle of the yard, and you definitely don't want to brush up against any of that because you're gonna have a really bad week if that's the case. But yeah, let's go here, center backyard. Like I said, I wasn't interested in taking, but I guess we will. Let me extend my tripod a little bit. I felt like I was kind of low. And then I'll drop the top part. Let's go back to 0 just so I can see a little bit better, be able to compose. I don't like this, but I can't really move any more to the right without potentially hitting a cactus. So I can adjust it. Now right here, I'm just looking for a good exposure on the inside. I feel like -2, I still can see well. Oh man, I feel like I got a reflection in the glass. Actually, not really. I gotta stay away from this cactus right next to it. And what I'll do is just move up a little bit. I feel like there's enough light over here where it'll focus properly. So let's go ahead and switch it to manual. There we go. But I feel like I'm cutting off the house. Come on. This one's not, the composition's not very good or straight, but I hope I'll be able to fix it. Hold on, let's take a look. All right. Yeah, that's probably the best one. No cactus. All right, let's go one more. Wow, that was a quick exposure. Let me try one more. Just because it's fun. All right, that'll work. And then you can see that the sky's getting kind of dark. I feel like when we get back to the front, we're going to be just about out what we can shooting back. Now, what's nice about shooting the front is there really isn't any lights that I'm concerned about getting blown out like the backyard shots. You know, the interior can get all blown out really easily. So we'll see. The earlier shots I think turned out pretty good, but I always like to, at least the front, multiple times if I can. I usually have time to. All right. Back out here, center shot, dark as heck. Now we're probably gonna be closer to exposure 0. I guess the only thing we have to worry about getting blown out are the sconces. Oh wow, you see that? F4, so it's like almost wide open. I'm not gonna go to 2.8. And I'm at a 25-second exposure. And actually the preview, you can't really tell what it's gonna look like. Let me bust it up or move it up. All right, we're at 4 seconds at f4, -1.7 at 320 ISO. So let's see, let's go straight on. Let's see if it'll focus correctly. Yeah, it looks like it is. This is like a challenge just because like you don't know what it's gonna turn out to be like or anything. It's pretty tough. All right. I like the composition, really bright on the flash. I was only at an 1/8. So with my aperture that wide open and the ISO that high, you gotta go down. Let's go to 1/32. But the camera did a good job focusing. It was in focus. I should have switched it to manual focus because sometimes it'll struggle. That looks pretty good. Much better than, yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Almost still too bright still, which is interesting. Let's go 1/64. I just want to go try again because this center shot is a more important shot. That was a very faint light that I just put out there, and it shows up big time in the shot. No, not that time. But what I'm looking at here is like what is that shadow or something on the tree? Maybe I was looking at the previous shot. Let's go 1/16. Now it's getting darker. I'm at a 5-second. All right, I was happy with one of those shots I already got, so let's move. This left side shot is really the only other good front shot. Let me take a look. Yeah, see, that was all right. And the left front shot. And really the real reason why I like to shoot the front twice is because these are the most important shots of the house. Like the first shot the agent's gonna use to list the home, if it's for sale, the front of the house. All right, you can see how I was like hunting for focus, but I think I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm only at a 1/16. I'm pretty impressed with how much light is actually showing up in this. The only thing I don't like is whatever, I don't think that's from my flash, but I'm gonna run over there. I have 6 seconds to do it, to try to get that tree flash. It's actually a natural tree flash from whatever's light is from around the neighborhood. I was just trying to reduce it. If I'm looking at the house right now, I can see it. But yeah, I kind of reduced it right there and I moved over. Honestly, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna do one more. I feel like I could add a little bit light on the left side, but I'm gonna do my same running strategy. All right, that was a 6-second exposure. Ray, you're looking at me like I'm crazy right now, probably. You're like, dude, what are you doing? All right. Oh, that's what you do? See, I'm not the only one. All right, that was ridiculously bright. Let's go 1/32. Got a little bit more light. That is pretty good. All right, now as time goes down, I got 8 seconds. So now I can walk, you know? I don't have to be so fast. You just kind of got to test your lighting, see how much is showing up in the shot, make adjustments, and then try to nail it on the next shot. That looks not powered enough. But let's see what we got. We got that one, we got that one. This one right here is actually good, so I'm happy with this angle. We'll come over here. I know it's getting pretty dark, really dark, but yeah, this angle is just, what are we looking at? A tree, a garage, and some cactus. Can't see the front of the front door or anything interesting, but that's all right. Let's give it a shot, man. 10-second exposure. All right, let's go to 8 seconds. All right, let's see if the old Sony will focus correctly. There we go. Eight seconds. I could have walked. All right, let's see what we got. It's out of focus, I can tell. All right, so when it's out of focus, if you have it in manual focus, you can have your focus assist on. Let me see if I can find the switch in the dark. So you move this, you can kind of see if it's in focus, or you just look, you can say, I'm looking at it, I'm probably about 8 meters away from the house, maybe 7 meters. What is it, 3 feet in a meter, 20? That's probably good. So just kind of eyeball it. How far away are you? It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be pretty good. All right. I'm pretty happy with that shot. Now we're in focus. If you want to double check, you can zoom in. Come on. I guess it doesn't want to zoom in, or I'm not pushing the right button because it's in the dark. But yeah, I feel pretty confident in that. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for this Twilight luxury shoot. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out. Obviously, we got out a little bit late. I had to swap a battery, so we did have to take a little bit more time in the interior, but it wasn't that big of a deal on a home this size of 2,000 square feet. I knew I had plenty of time, and we finished almost an hour. We were able to get usable shots out front, shooting away from sunset about an hour after sunset. That's not always the case. It's gonna depend on the time of year, the weather conditions, and the lighting of the property. So a lot of variables to take into consideration, but I usually always try to get outside 15 to 20 minutes. But if for some reason something comes up and you can't, then just know that you still can achieve great results on your exterior shot. So anyways, if you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out. And before we leave, we're gonna put the home back in the condition that we found it when we got here. So anyways, we'll see you guys on the next one.